Okay. Everybody ready?
We're ready.
It's a history-making moment here today in the Bronx. And as many of you who follow my career, 44 years ago, we made history in the Bronx, right on East Fordham Road, Webster Avenue. Whereas night manager of McDonald's there, along with Arnaldo Salinas, who's been with me for 46 years, we did our very first Guardian Angel patrol on the number 4 train. And as you know, it was extraordinarily difficult. The mayor at that time was opposed to us. The police arrested us. The gangs tried to eliminate us. People were frightened of us. They thought, what are these guys and gals from the Warriors, which was a cult movie which had just come out approximately the same time that we started. So nobody gave us a chance to exist, succeed, and be able to achieve our goal, which was to bring blacks, whites, Hispanic, Asians, males and females together in a volunteer patrol unarmed to try to keep people from fleeing the Bronx. Remember, that was a time about 1 million people fled the Bronx alone, and the Bronx was burning down, and nobody was doing anything about it. The city's budget was cut. We were on the brink of bankruptcy. Ed Koch was the brand new mayor, elected to replace Mayor Beam, and we had no support other than one person, Father McNally, who was of St. Nicholas of Tallentine Church. Other than that, that was it. We were on our own. And subsequently from that, the first 13 years was a baptism in hell. I alone was arrested 77 times. Guardian Angels were being arrested and rousted. Guardian Angels were shot and killed, injured in the line of duty. Remember, we were volunteers not getting paid. And then it all changed in 1992. There was a change in the city administration from David Dinkins to Rudy Giuliani. And in fact, I actually played stickball with him and Herman Badillo. Think of that, a Democrat and a Republican together. Rudy Giuliani and Herman Badillo, who had been a Democrat, ran as a Republican for controller. And we played stickball right in this park. As a result of that, as Giuliani won, I became stickball commissioner for 20 years. That was my passion. I got nothing. I got ugats, I got pupkins, not even a Metro card. But I love stickball. And as you all know, Stickball Boulevard, Adley, Stevenson High School has been preserved here by young men, young women, and old-timers like myself from the Bronx. So I just wanted to establish that. I was here when the shirach was done at the pizza parlor. Herman Badillo, the Democrat, Rudy Giuliani, the Republican. And it became a fusion ticket because it was in the best interest of the city. And still, David Dinkins almost got reelected. It was a very close election. So ever since that day, I have taken a personal position. I want to look for the men and women that are best to serve the people, right? It's called serve the people, not serve yourself in your own self-interest, serve the people. Both these people I have seen on a regular basis, George and Irene, especially when we were here on a number of occasions to support your efforts to stop the upzoning. How many times I attended the meetings and I thought for sure, wow, what a tremendous coalition. Look at the energy. And I remember the feckless, weak city council woman who promised, oh, I'm with you. And remember what I said? Arnold owns a home in Throg's Neck. I said, watch. She'll stick the shiv in their backs like all these politicians do. And generally they do. They give their word. Their word is not their bond. And she made a deal. And now look at this situation. So I'm a veteran. I've seen this from Democrats. I've seen this from Republicans. I trust no politician. With me, it's different than Ronald Reagan, who said, trust but verify. With me, you verify, then I trust you. And I didn't trust her to begin with because I said, hey, they'll buy her out in a heartbeat. And they did. And it's not in all of your best interest. These two people, George and Irene, were on the front line. I saw them. I saw them as they've gone over to Jacoby Hospital, and they're trying to turn an empty facility in housing for Rikers Island inmates who have difficulty, medical issues. And I'm saying, well, why here? What's the point? There's so many other places if you wanted to take care of them. And remember, I'm the only candidate who ran for mayor who actually got locked up on a number of occasions on Rikers Island. So all of these politicians who talk about Rikers and being incarcerated, they know nothing about nothing. So of course we want to take care of these people. Of course they need care, but why there? When you have a community that is strong, stable, and we're trying to prevent flight, because there's exodus from our city. I see the for sale signs everywhere I go, whether it's in Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. I'm an outer borough kid. I'm from Brooklyn originally, started the group in the Bronx. I know all about the outer boroughs. You cut my veins, I bleed outer boroughs. I understand blue collar working class. That was my parents. And so I see the values. Irene, the Democrat, who's tried and tried to make a difference in the Democratic Party. That's who I came from. My parents were such Democrats, Irene. My father, merchant seaman Chester, my mother, Francesca, no longer with us, in Canarsie, that if you went in their bedroom, they had 4 pictures. They had Jesus Christ, Pope John Paul, JFK, and Barack Obama. I said to my dad, not for nothing, you're from Chicago. You taught me all about Abraham Lincoln. Why don't you put a $5 bill up there on the wall? Nope. No Republican in my house. I said, oh boy, wait till he finds out I'm a Republican. And so I understand the tradition, but times change and people change. That doesn't mean that Irene's values in the Democratic Party are not George's values in the Republican Party, because it's all about what's in the best interest of the community. And I gotta be very frank with you. I've known the county people here on both sides. I go way back with Stanley Slime Schlein. Oh my God. His role in existence is to knock candidates off the ballot, to prevent them from qualifying. This is a democracy. We encourage more people to run, and more people want to run. Beyond Irene, who I'm endorsing today with George, putting together this coalition, then good, we want them to run. They shouldn't have to get signatures. You go to other states, you go to other cities, people show up, they maybe pay $100. Hey, you're running for office here, oh my God. I've seen people with 17,500 signatures knocked off because the cover page didn't have one right number. 17,500 signatures in the middle of COVID. Many of you who gather signatures, and you'll be starting the petition process tomorrow, Democrats for Irene, Republicans for George, know how difficult it is to get that in normal times. You imagine what this guy felt like when they said, Ixnay, you're off the ballot. And that's what the counties do. They tried it to me. They knocked one of my parties off the animal welfare line, an independent line. I will never forgive them for that. Because one thing I think we can all agree on, we're friends of animals. Animals, as, well, there's no better person than Gandhi said. A society that does not take care of its animals does not take care of its people. So look at all the emotionally disturbed, look at all the homeless. So whether it was de Blasio or now Eric Adams, they don't care. It's obvious. So these people care. They've proven it. They're warriors. They've been out there for years. They may not be the most astute politician. We don't want that. They may not do backroom deals. We don't want that. We want people to get elected who are going to keep people from joining the exodus. And I am sure, having seen George in action and having seen Irene in action, that their hearts, that's what they're running with, their hearts. And I'm here to support that effort. So, now I don't know if this is true historically throughout the United States, but I think I'm cogent enough of city politics, having again grown up a Democrat, then an independent, then the chairman of the New York State Reform Party until Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo whacked as many third parties as he could. the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, the Reform Party, the Independence Party, because he wanted to destroy the Working Families Party that had a right to run. They organize, they run candidates. They may differ with some of our values, but everybody has a right to run. Hey, Cuomo, Ufa to you. That's why we're here, to support them in solidarity. So we will have people to help them and their volunteers, naturally registered Republicans, to get the signatures for George so he can qualify, win the primary, and go on to the general election. Likewise with Irene. Democrats to help her get the needed signatures, because we know both counties are going to do everything they can to kick them off the ballot. They've done it before, they'll do it again. And we'll come with the lawyers, and we'll come with everything necessary to make sure it's fair and square. Now, if the signatures are tainted, if they don't follow the rules, well, of course, they shouldn't qualify. But I've seen that happen time and time again, and I've seen people who really wanted to get involved with the process shattered. So today, I believe this is a historic occasion, supporting two people from two separate parties who in many ways have the same values. They've proven that in the streets. At the same time, we're doing that in Astoria. You may have seen, I opened the Ronald Reagan Republican Club in Astoria. People say, you can't do that. Why not? Ronald Reagan, if there's one thing you remember him for, was the Ronald Reagan Democrats. He would never have been elected president against President Jimmy Carter, who is now in hospice. We wish the best for him. And a man named Anderson, who was the independent, a Republican in Illinois, who took votes away from Ronald Reagan. The reason he was able to win is you had the phenomenon of the Reagan Democrats. So we are running a Republican candidate against Caban, and like yourself, Irene, we have a Democrat moderate who's also in Astoria, who will run against her in the primary. This is not a fight in the streets. This is a fight at the ballot box. And we are trying to get people in here who support the police, don't want to defund them, who support corrections, and want to make sure that everybody is safe and secure on Rikers Island, including the inmates. Me having been one at one time, I understand what it's like. And caring for the emotionally disturbed and those who shouldn't be in Rikers Island and should be given the mental health care that they deserve. I know that's George's value. I know that's Irene's value. I know that you've supported Democrats in the past and you've supported Republicans. Likewise, you've done the same thing. You're not blinded by party affiliation, and neither am I. In fact, my wife Nancy was here, ran against Gail Brewer on the Upper West Side. She supports Bernie Sanders. You can imagine what it's like in our household, right? The conversations we have. Hey, there's plenty of room for all different points of view. Let's go out, let's get the signatures, let's make a difference, and let's get the city councilwoman out of here because she stabbed you all in the back. Let's make sure we get the Democrats, Socialists of America to understand they have a challenge now. Republicans have not challenged them. Moderate Democrats have not challenged them. We are. And AOC, get ready next year. From both sides of your district, the Queens side and the Bronx side, we're going to come at you with a Democratic moderate candidate, and we're going to come at you with a Republican candidate. And if there are other independent candidates, whoever they want to run, all the better. But we have to make a difference. We need to support the police, no more defunding police. We need to support our correctional officers, no more defunding corrections. Help the emotionally disturbed, help the homeless. And we need to stop the upzoning. Stop the upzoning. Eric Adams, he upzones. He stays in a 90-floor apartment, which has already been acknowledged by Politico. 90 floors. The Trump Tower across the street from the United Nations. He's got all of Gracie Mansion. What the hell is he staying there for? Because we know the swagger man has no plan, right? Has no plan. He's not blue-collar working class. You can't be blue-collar working class with $5,000 customized suits that even Pablo Escobar from the Medellin cartel never had those kind of suits. These are working class men and women. So if you don't mind, I'd like to have Irene speak. She's running for the Democratic nomination to unseat the councilwoman who is presently the Democratic Party representative. And Irene has certainly made her bones in organizing all through the years. All you have to do is mention her name, and people says, like President Barack Obama, community organizer, Irene, the definition of community organizer.
Thank you.